out these clouds. Oop, now we're recording. Okay, to recap, to recap what we've done so far. First, we painted a block of just white in this area of the canvas. So that block is just pure white. We're going to keep that as wet as we can. We don't want that to dry on us, in other words. So this blocked area of white, that's going to be our sky. And then once we put that white down, we grabbed just a smidgy smooch of blue and we started filling in the sky, leaving blank the clouds. So painting the negative space. And now what I've just done is, in case you want to add more cloud or you're thinking, oh gosh, I went too blue here. I want more cloud. I wiped off my excess paint from blue. I wiped off any excess blue paint from my brush, gave it a good clean rinse, and then got some fresh white. And then I can start fluffing these clouds here. And I do recommend when you're doing cloud fluff, I like keeping the brush pretty perpendicular to the canvas and using very little paint, very little pressure, because you can, just like paint, you can always add more pressure. It's harder to take back when you've gone too much. And just the tippity tips of those bristles, I can start fluffing my clouds. And then the other tip about clouds, if you're looking at your clouds and you're like, yep, I'm not pleased with that. Go ahead and take a breath and let that dry. Move on to the next part. And once that's dry, it'll be easier to work with in terms of going over the clouds in white. And just in case you are just joining us or you have the question, there will be a recording available. Oh, there it hit. Like mind meld, Abby. This event will be recorded and archived on the PSAA website under previous events. So if you know somebody wanted to be here and they couldn't make it, you can direct them to the recording later on. All right. So I've got something like that. It's just kind of floating right now. I'm going to give everybody a minute to catch up or ask any questions. Just so you know where we're headed next. It's going to be this very, very, very far back, right on the horizon line, pretty much. I think that's a building, but for us, we're just going to give the suggestion of a building, and it's going to be a gray. Any sort of gray color. I don't want it to be too dark. So if you look at the sketch, in terms of value, that means in terms of how dark it is, the blue and the gray here, you know, they're kind of the same value. One's not terribly darker than the other. So that's going to be our next move. Once we got the sky down. So if you are ready for that, go ahead and start mixing, I would say, a gray of your choosing. I'm going to just take a little stroll through the Zoom here to see if folks look like they're still working, if they're panicking. Just get some of that wine that's on your counter. Or if you're like me, I have a decaf coffee. I don't know what it is, but coffee makes me feel comfy. At nighttime, we need a decaf. Alrighty. See lots of folks. Yeah, don't be shy about turning your video on. It's like the best part. It's my favorite. Alrighty, people look like they're working still. That is a great ceiling fan. Love that. Actually, I see two very, very cool light fixtures happening. Alrighty. Yeah, we are working. So I'll give it another couple minutes. Oh, I see all of those old Penn State paintings back there, Elizabeth. I see the kitty cat on the pumpkin. There's the Nittany lion. Oh, yeah, the two Nittany lions, because one is, yeah, he's holding. Yep. Oh my goodness, I love it. All right. And if you are ready to move on, go ahead and give a thumbs up. I try to wait as long as I can, but I also want to see like where people are. And you can either do that with the emoji or you can just literally give me a thumbs up. And I just want to see kind of, yeah, I see several thumbs, double thumbs, no thumbs down, no crying yet. So that's good. Okay. So like I said, our next step is going to be to take care of this gray in the background. That's supposed to be a building that's in the back there. Oh, there it is. Just very, very light gray right on the horizon line. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to start with white. I still just have white paint on my brush. Little smidgy smooch of black, the smidgiest of smoochies. Okay. We can always add more black. It's so hard to take it away. So I would err on the side of like having so little black that nothing happens. And I'm going to start with this gray that I have on my brush and see what happens when I throw it down. And the idea here is I'm pretty much going like just a bar or a band right across the bottom of my sky. Right across the bottom. And you know what? It's a building. It's not going to have a lot of detail. I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to get covered by some trees and a fountain. Not too concerned. All right. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of a smidgy smooch.
It honestly makes sense considering that. Yeah. Well, I read the same exact thing.
Ooh, check if you're unmuted. We got some feedback going on there. So please stay muted. Thank you. It happens. That's no problem. Okay. I just went and got more of a smidgy smooch of black to my gray because I just wanted to, I think that was a little bit too light. But again, we're just suggesting a building back here. Not even concerned about it that much.
There's a chain of
Alrighty. And I would say in terms of if you have that question of like, well, how long should it be? I would say don't be shy about going long because a lot of it is going to get covered up anyway. And then with that same gray, so I'm just going to try to whip up a little bit more. With that same gray, I can start blocking out the pavement where our fountain is.
I don't know if it's exactly true. It makes sense intuitively.
Let's see.
Because
I feel like I have the power to mute, so I will do that. All right. I think we're good. All righty. All right. Same gray on my brush. You know what? I'm just going to, we'll take a look at the sketch so we know what's going on. All right. So if we look at the sketch, we have this band, this gray band of building in the back. Right below that band of building is a band of grass in light green. Right below that band of light green is the fountain. Okay. So it's kind of orderly in the sense that we have band of gray, band of green, and then fountain. All right. So I'm going to imagine that this is my band of green. Okay. And then right below that, I'm going to sketch my flat disc of a fountain. Okay. So right now I'm just sketching, making sure I know where things exist in space. Okay. I'm going to paint that green band really quickly just so you can kind of see how things are organized here. So again, you don't have to follow this. I just want to show how everything is kind of organized. Oh, that's a dark green. I think I want to go lighter than that. Add some more yellow. All right. Band of gray, band of green. Not worried about perfection. Band of gray, band of green. And then the flat disc. It's basically a really, 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 really skinny oval of where that fountain will be. And I'm going to make that green lighter. All right, so yeah, this is actually a painting where things look pretty funky for a while before they start looking like something. So just stay with me. This is definitely one of those where things look kind of weird for a while before they start coming together. And if you are new here, if this is your first time, hang in there with us, okay? Anyone will tell you that it looks better the next day. It also looks really good taken on your phone, a picture of it on your phone. But because we are in the middle of it, we see everything that is quote unquote wrong with it. But I promise you tomorrow you will feel different. Okay. All right. So to recap, after I did my little sky, I did a band of gray to indicate some building in the background. I did a band of light green for the grass in the background. And then I just did a quick sketch of that fountain shape. What I'm doing right now is trying to lighten up that green. And what I can do, taking advantage of that light green on my brush, I actually add a little smooch of blue and maybe play around with some white too. I can paint the interior of that fountain. Ooh, that looks way green. So I'm gonna try to hit that up with some white and blue. Let's try that again. So I believe the inside of that fountain is kind of painted blue, light blue. Oh, I want that to be lighter and brighter. Definitely want that to be lighter and brighter. I might have to just walk away from that, but that should be kind of that aqua. Too much yellow going on in there. That's what I'm working on right here in the sketch. Right there. All right. So for those of you who have been painting with me for a while, my son is now, well, he'll be 3 in September, and I have Mickey Mouse stuck in my head at any given moment. But I'm glad we've moved past Wheels on the Bus. In fact, I think we're cutting him off from Wheels on the Bus. I can't take it anymore. All righty. Okay. Recap time. We did our sky. We have our gray band in the back for our building. We have our light green. It's showing up really dark on my screen, so I want to keep those light and bright as much as I can. It's looking pretty dark on my screen, so that's just an FYI. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So for my next move, I'm just going to fill in the pavement, the walkway here, which is for now just going to be a gray, very close to that building gray for now anyway. And I'm just basically going to fill that in, meaning I'm going to fill in all the space, not worried about any details at this point. In fact, I can go right up to the grass there and we'll kind of, well, I'm just going to make my life easy. I'm going to do this. Just going to do it like that. I still have some blue in my brush because I'm lazy and I don't clean up in between colors, but I just want to get this down quickly so you can see the basic shape. Ooh, yeah, that looks really dark on my screen. I feel like this happens every single time. Maybe it's just my screen, so I'm not going to worry about that too much, but I will let you know that I would say lighter is better, only because of the effect that we're going for with those gates that have been overgrown with all that lovely foliage.
Jackie, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you going all the way to the corners with those gray?
Yeah, that's a safe bet. A lot of that, well, at least some of it will be covered up by black. But to be safe, meaning like to make sure we're not leaving anything blank, you can go ahead and go to those corners. I mean, you could literally paint everything on this thing in any color because the black will go right over it. But yeah, I'm going to go down to the corners and just fill that in. Ooh. So my gray is looking kind of green. Don't hate it. If you are like me and your I want to keep calling it pavement and your walkway is looking green, smidgy smooch of red will counteract that. Smidgy smooch of red. Right. And again, for that sidewalk or walkway, just doing a straight fill, not worried about any details. We are going to add some shadow colors to that later on. But for now, it's just a straight fill. Alrighty. So if your painting looks like a weird laptop that's open, that's what we're going for. And we'll take here, pause here just a moment before we move on to our next step. And our next step is actually going to be, yeah, we'll do some dark green to take care of business in the back there. Those trees, those suggestions of trees in the back. So that's what's coming up next. But we'll just pause here for a moment. Oof. You get, oh, look at my messy kitchen. Okay, here we go. Make sure that's nice and centered. So in the meantime, I am going to wipe off any excess paint from my brush. Always a good idea to wipe off the excess paint first on a paper towel before you dip it in water. And then I'm going to give that brush a bath. I don't want any white in my bristles for when I make this dark green coming up next. Again, just getting rid of all of that white paint from my bristles so I can make a nice dark green. Alrighty, let me take a stroll through Zoom here. If you are done, go ahead and give a thumbs up or even hold up your painting. This is where things look weird. It looks really bizarre at this point. Yeah, love it. It's my favorite part. Don't be shy. Love it. I love it. Oh, these are looking so good already. Yes. You guys are so good at following directions. I love it. Oh, only my college students. Anyway. Oh my gosh, they look great. Love it. Ooh, we got some painting out on the patio, Carol. What a dream. Looks lovely out there. Beautiful. Oh, looks like we got the whole family painting. Love it, love it. Beautiful. Yes, love it. Ooh, what are we painting on? Is that like, Amy, is that like watercolor paper? Yeah. Oh, you're muted, but it looks cool. Yeah, watercolor paper. Okay. Awesome. Oh, I see the family dog. Love it. All right. So again, I cleaned my brush, got rid of all of that white paint because for my dark green that I'm going to do, I don't want any of that white to interfere with this darker green. So if you're like me, you don't have green, so you're going to have to make it on your own. That's blue and yellow. And to make sure it is fairly dark, I'm going to play around with smidgy smooches of black to get a nice dark green color for those trees out yonder in the back. So I do want to keep these on basically the horizon line. So for me, my horizon line is pretty much, you know, where the gray building meets the green grass. And you can do just kind of like a stamp technique. Just use your brush as a stamper. Stamp, 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 stamp. Ooh, and that is a wicked blue tree back there. I'm going to add more yellow and just a smidgy smooch of black, which I failed to do. And you can use your brush as, again, a stamper. Really loosey-goosey at this point. I'm not really concerned about things looking terribly tree-like because our brains will do that for us later on. And I do want mine to be a wee bit darker than that. So I'm going to grab some more of a smidgy smooch of black for this. So if you're kind of like, don't know what to do next, if you've got a paper plate or a paper towel, go ahead and do a little test run of different brush strokes. With a flat brush, you can use the corner and just a little tap, tap, tap. Bob Ross favored the fan brush, of course. But any brush will do.
Lola.
I highly recommend giving it a little test run on something before you commit in case you're feeling nervous. And for me, I feel like, oh, that's the green I want. Yeah, that almost looks black on my video. With foliage, you can't go wrong. It's a leaf. Ta-da. It's a tree. Ta-da. Animals and people are hard because one wrong move and things look wrong. But foliage is our friend. I'm going to do something like that. And even bring some closer. I can't help myself when it comes to foliage. There we go. Something like that. You can even do like simple shapes like round blobs, and they look like trees in the distance. So there's my round blobs. That also works. Totally up to you. But really we want the focus of this bad boy to be the fountain and these gates. All righty. All right, we'll make sure everyone has some time to get caught up. Our next move is the funnest part, is to just block out these black areas. Why black? Well, it's the quickest way to build up that shadow that is behind all of that foliage and leaves. The key here is don't go too heavy with the black because we do want that to dry as much as we can. It doesn't have to be bone dry, but we don't want to go on heavy black so that our green just kind of smudges around in there. So as opposed to what we usually do with our sky to get blendy, we're going to use as little black as possible, I would say. And looks like folks are still working. All right. What I'm going to do now is block out the lines, what am I trying to say? I'm going to just draw the outer, what are my words? Oh my gosh. I'm just going to draw the outline of the black first so you can see the logistics. So like logically, where does everything land in terms of the perspective? Because we do want to make sure our perspective is right on. All right, so let's imagine these gates, okay, and these bushes behind the gate. The end of the gate is going to basically be in line with the edge of the fountain. So if I take the left point of this fountain and go to my left, that's where I want the corner of this gate bush. Let's just call it a gate bush. I don't know. That's where the corner of it is going to be. Okay. So corner of my gate bush, corner of my fountain. Same deal on the other side. I'm going to go over here. This is the end of my fountain. I'm going to go to the right, and that's where the corner will be. And then how high will the gate be? Well, you definitely want it to go higher than your horizon line. And for me, the horizon line is between the gray and the green. So I definitely need that gate to be higher than that. And then from there, I'm just going to, you can do a wiggly line, a straight line, anything anything really will work. A lot of that is going to get covered with foliage anyway. All right. And I think you can kind of already start to see things coming together. All right. So again, I just did an outline of where everything is going to go black. Just logistically, okay. The end of the fountain is going to be parallel. It's going to be at the same point as the corner of this gate bush. Same thing over here. The end of the fountain is going to be in line with that corner over there. Okay. And what I've done now is just done the outline. Okay. You can do straight lines. You can do more organic looking lines. It doesn't really matter because we can always add more foliage to clear things out. Okay. And again, in terms of how high you're going, you definitely want it to go past your horizon line. Okay. So my horizon line is where the gray meets the green right here. I want to go past that up into the sky. Don't be shy. And right now, all I'm going to do is take some black paint. If you're feeling nauseous about the black, you can even add some green to it if that makes you feel more comfortable. But I'm just going to go straight black, just filling in that shape that I just outlined. And again, I want to move that paint around. I want this to dry, not be bone dry, but I certainly don't need gloppy black paint right now. Just kind of scrubbing that in. Oh, I'm so excited that things are happening. I feel like there's always a moment in a painting when like something magical happens. And for me, well, there's more magic in this painting coming, I promise. But this is one of them. Filling in the spots right now. All right, let me get this back in the frame here. Oh my goodness. Get it together, Jackie. Okay. There we are. All right, so you notice that my two black shapes are not symmetrical, and that's totally fine. Foliage isn't perfect. Again, these black shapes are basically the shadow, not shadow. They're the far away, deep, dark bits of tightly packed foliage. So yes, there is shadows in there. So that's what we're doing here. We're creating all of that shape that we're going to add foliage to. Okay, so it's not going to be identical. They're not going to be perfect. If they are symmetrical for you, that's totally fine. But they don't have to be. So don't fret if they're not symmetrical. Okay. Alrighty. So just because it's on my brush, I'm going to take advantage of that black I'm still using my flat brush. With the brush that I have, I can get a pretty decent edge moving my brush back and forth on my plate. So I'm going to take advantage of that black and just do the outer edge or rim of the fountain and then the inner. It doesn't have to be a harsh, thick line of black. So I'm going to use a very light pressure and quick stroke here, but I'm just indicating that, yes, this is standing up on a lip here. Let me go in the back here, here. And again, not worried about perfection, just indicating that this is indeed raised above the ground here. And we will take care of some more details with the fountain, but I did just want to take advantage of that black on my brush. So when I am painting at home, I try to do things logically. You know, okay, I have this paint on my brush right now. What can I use it for before I move on? And that's what I just did right now with the fountain. And I think we can start to see how things are coming along. I'm going to stop here, pausing for questions and seeing how things are going. And speaking of taking advantage of color on your brush, I am going to keep that lock on my brush for my next move. I'm just going to take a walk through Zoom here and see how everybody's doing. Looks like we're busy.
Mine looks like a cartoon.
No, it doesn't. Look at it. I'm telling you, it looks better when you have perspective. It looks awesome.
All right, I have a question. I didn't go
Yes.
wide enough with my blue. How am I gonna fix that?
So you're saying you have like some white wedges
Yeah,
hanging out. All I would do is just make sure I've got a nice clean brush, and then I would start with white and fill in those white areas with white and just kind of redo the steps. Fill
okay,
in any of the white areas with white and then little smooches of blue to fill in the blanks.
perfect.
The only like warning I would give you is if you touch the black, you're gonna smudge a little, so just be careful of that. But
Okay.
you know, pro tip, just go over it with black after.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, are you showing the very top of your painting?
I should be, but I can kind of make sure I can pull out a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, it's tricky. Because instead of just tidying up a little, I just want to cover my kitchen with the canvas. But here we go. One day I'm going to figure out like a setup that is not so finicky, but you know, when you get a tripod and ring light from Ollie's, this is what we get. So we do our best. All right. So, if we are good to go, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if not, unmute and say, help me. But I think we're looking good. Ooh, Meredith, you have like a whole shower of thumbs up. I love that. How did that happen? I don't know. Technology is just all new to me. Okay. So I have that black on my brush. And what I'm going to do is add that black to the gray I was using in my walkway. And that darker gray becomes the shadow of this foliage on the ground. This is a magic moment for me when things start coming together. So I have that black on my brush, and I'm just gonna mix it in with that grayish that I was using earlier. And again, well, here's a tip. If your brush had like a big old glop of black on it, I would wipe it off, right? The key here is still, you know, smidgy smooch of black. So if you just need to start over with your gray and add a smidgy smooch of black, then go for it. But I'm just gonna kind of mix what I've got in my brush already. But that darker version is going to become, again, the shadow of that foliage. So I'm just gonna go in and see what happens. It might be too dark, it might be too light. I'm just gonna see what happens and adjust. And with this, I'm just gonna, let's see, is that too dark? It might be too dark. I don't know. I kind of like it. Anyway, I'm going to add a little bit more white just to calm things down. And what I'm doing here, that's better, is I'm adding foliage-like shadow. Okay. And here's the awesome news. We don't necessarily have to match this foliage later on when we do the green. This can just be out of sight foliage that is getting hit by the sun. And it's organic, it's free, it's sketchy, it's loosey-goosey. But there is our shadow for that side. Oh, magic. Magic. This is where color does magic. Color does the work for us. I'm going to put some shadow over here as well. Not as much if I'm imagining that sun right overhead. But that's just the general idea. Fun, fun. And then of course I can't help myself. Just do a little. It's almost like you're mimicking the technique you did for the clouds. You can kind of fluff them out. You know, it's all good. There's no wrong way to do this. The color is doing the work for us. It's going to look like shadow because it is darker. Awesome. All righty. How are we doing out there? Is the magic happening? Are we doing okay? All righty, let's see how we're doing. Go ahead and show if you're willing. I'm telling you, these are going to be great. They always are. I'm always so excited. Yes. Yes. Oh, did we already start doing foliage and stuff too? Love it. Yes. Oh my gosh. Love it. This is simple. I mean, this is just color stuff. It's basically color and shapes. This is what we're working with here. And that's where the magic is. Love it. Ugh. Yes. Yes. Ooh, can I help with the fountain if you're not a fan? What do you know exactly what you don't like about it? Kelly?
I think the shadows.
Oh, around the rim?
Yeah.
Well, we're not done with it yet. We are gonna add some actually highlight on the top of it.
Okay.
Like if little kids who walk on it, that's the surface that's gonna be white. It's lit up by the sun. So
Okay.
adding that might give you a chance to adjust anything that you don't like.
Okay.
And then of course we're gonna add the water, and then people are like, oh, that's a fountain. Ah, if you made your fountain too small, this is a message in the chat directly to me. If you made your fountain too small, the good news is you can make it bigger, no problem. So I don't know if it's too small, like it's too short. You can certainly just go over any of your gray with, I would do it with white just to kind of prime it, and then kind of just make it bigger. So that's not a problem. Yeah, if anything is going on in your painting, and you're like, ooh, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know how to fix that. I'm happy to troubleshoot anything if I can help.
Yeah, for me, my fountain is like too tall. It looks flat. It doesn't look tall. It looks wide, but not.
Is it more circular than like rice shaped? Is that the problem?
Like it doesn't. It looks flat. It doesn't look
Okay.
like tall.
I can't. Oh, is that you, Tiffany, talking?
Yeah,
So your video is blurring, so I can't quite see it. Let me see if I
I
can.
don't know how to do that.
Ah, yeah.
better?
If you keep it as is, but just extend it on the ends.
Okay.
So if you look at mine is a little bit like skinnier and pointier on the ends,
Oh, okay.
and yours is more
Oh, okay.
like a jelly bean ish,
Okay.
you know. But
Yeah.
it looks great. But I see what you mean. You can certainly extend those out.
Okay.
Sure. Alrighty. Oh, hi, doggy. Did the dog hear me say that? Hi, sweetie. Hi. Do you want to see the doggy? Here. All right. You can look at the doggy, and then you have to go hide, okay? All right. Doggy. Do you see him right over here? Oh, where'd he go? Where'd you go? There he is. You see the doggy right there? Oh my goodness, what a cute doggy.
Oh, Jack, he is adorable.
Oh, thank you. Wait, where I can't see us, Jack. Where are we? Jack, let me show you you. You see you? There's you. Can you say hi, everybody? Hi. Can you say good job, everybody? Good job, everybody. He says, good job, everybody. Okay. Now go away. Go hide. Okay. Alrighty. Anybody else with an issue? Otherwise, what am I doing next? Oh yes, let's do our foliage. So, some of you, thank you, Mary. We think he's cute too. Some of you may have already started doing your foliage. So when I'm talking about the foliage, I'm talking about all the leaves that are hanging out on these vine-like plants behind these gates. Okay. And whenever we do leaves and foliage, highly recommend giving a test run with any brush that you have on paper plate, paper, something that you don't care about, and just kind of playing around with how to use the brush. Are you going to use it like a stamp? Are you going to use the corner of your flat brush and just smudge? I just like playing around in the painting and seeing what works for me. We're going to do different greens. Because my brush has dark paint on it already, I'm probably just going to work up some dark greens first. But just have fun with that foliage. Okay. And again, the idea is different shades of green with the lighter ones, you know, peeking out on the edges, because that's going to get lit up by the sun. All right. So my brush already has dark color on it and I'm lazy and I don't feel like cleaning it. So I'm just going to go into some blue and yellow. And again, the black doesn't have to be bone dry. And here's where lots of paint on our brush becomes our friend, because we want that paint to sit on top of that black. We don't want to scrub and rub. We just want that paint to sit on top of the black. So I'm not using a lot of pressure. And I'm just gonna kind of let my brush do most of the work here, not worrying about the posts of the gate yet. Just kind of letting the brush do the work. And when I say let the brush do the work, people are like, what does that mean? It means very little pressure. And I'm being very playful. I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of tapping, tip tapping. Alrighty. And oh, so another key thing here is, of course, putting that foliage beyond the outline of those black blocks, right? Because these leaves are growing outwards and up, and they're going to go past those dark marks, those black blocks. This is where more magic happens. Dun, dun, dun. And if you're wondering, I'm still using that flat brush, and I'm just kind of rotating it, using the corner here and there. Just imagining all these viney things growing. Mhm. So just a little background into this painting. I did Google a photo or photos of the Arboretum. So it's based off of a photo, but this technique, gosh, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some like old documentary about Disney animation. I don't even remember when I saw it, but it was like old school Disney, like Walt was still around. And they showed these animators, and one of them was painting a shrub, and he literally painted like a black rectangle. And then he added green leaves to it. And of course, my art brain was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it was amazing. It was magic. He just painted a black rectangle and then put leaves on it, which is basically where I stole this technique. All right, so I've done a bunch of my darker greens. I'm going to start lightening up my green by adding more yellow. Get it nice and bright and sunshiny. Add some highlights to leaves you already have. Mhm. Ooh, I'm tempted to put roses on these now, but I'm not going to do it. I will resist the urge. Maybe.
Well, I did wonder where the red paint was gonna be used.
Oh, good call. Why do I have red? Probably because I always use it and maybe I didn't really use it this time. Um, I'm looking at my sketch and I definitely have some red in there. I probably used it in my pavement. But yeah, hey, why not?
Yeah, I'm terrified of red.
You know, there's a Hitchcock movie about that, I think.
Yeah. Well, you get too much and you turn your beach into Normandy.
Yes. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah. Oh, somebody asked what size brush. This is, I can't see, but this, I would say that's like a 1-inch flat brush that I'm using. But really any brush will give you a fun effect. Alrighty. All right, before I get too carried away with foliage, I do want to take a moment and be sure that I get in my gate, okay? And because that gate is, you know, structural and geometric, we do want to make sure that it's falling in line with the rules of, oh my gosh, my brain becomes mush after 8 o'clock. What is the thing where lines go to the vanishing point? Perspective. So we want to make sure that that is falling in line with perspective. So I'm going to take a pause from my foliage because I do want to get that gate in there. And of course, some of the gate will be covered by the leaves and stuff, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I am going to wipe off any excess paint from my brush and give that a nice, well, it doesn't have to be perfectly clean, to be honest. And these gates, I think I just used a light gray. And again, because of the impact of the painting, we're not worried about perfection, but we do want to make sure it's falling in line with perspective. So I'm going to whip up a light gray and we'll see what happens. I'm going to do this. I'll do one side and then I can do the other side. Just to, again, be sure that our perspective is cool. So, this top bar right here, that should be in line with the whatchamacallit. It should be in line with the horizon line. Ooh, but my horizon line is so low. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Again, my horizon line is right about here. Okay. Oh, I know what I'll do. Got it. Okay. Pay no attention to me. So, the bar of the gate that is along the horizon line should, you guessed it, horizontal, should stay horizontal. So I'm just going to indicate that here. Again, some of that will be covered up by leaves, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. The bottom rung is going to be in line with our black line that we already have there. So that's going to stay in line with that. Oh, I lied. I was going to do one side at a time. Okay. And then I'm going to improvise here. My original gate did not have 3 horizontal bars, but this one I am going to do. a third because I think it would be too short of a gate otherwise. And I'm just going to follow. I'm kind of do the mirror image of that bottom line. Okay. So key here is that bar in the middle, or maybe for you it's the top. Either way, that bar should go right along the horizon line, perpendicular at 90 degrees to your edge of the canvas. That's going to help you keep perspective. These other lines are going to go along the bottom of your black block. I can add that one over here. Okay. And then again, I'm improvising by adding another third one at the top. And then your vertical slats are just straight up and down parallel. Of course, getting shorter and shorter as we get closer to the horizon. And in theory, okay, I did that really quickly. But I can kind of repeat the key points here. My gate, I improvised, I added a middle bar because otherwise my gate would be wicked short. So if you're like me, make that a middle bar and add a top one and a bottom one, just to give you an idea of what I mean by all this. In my original, I only had the 2 horizontal bars, but I decided that it would just be too short. So the key here, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but the key here is that middle bar, or if it's your top bar, needs to be in line with your horizon line, and it's going to be horizontal. That's why we call it horizontal, because it is in line with the horizon. Okay. As long as that is there, everything else should fall into place. As long as your bottom rung is going along with your black shape. And if you need a top one like I did, it is the mirror image of that other one. We've got like a railroad track, right? So if you turn your painting like this, it would kind of look like a railroad track. Alrighty, I'm just going to do the same business on the other side. And again, I'm really sketchy here. I'm using a light touch on my brush. I'm going behind my leaves, not worrying if things get smudgy. No big whoop. And that's basically all I'm doing. It's just these a little suggestion of the gate. It basically is the sunlight hitting the gate for us. And then once that is down there, I can go back to tending to my leaves if I so desire. They're kind of peeking over the bottom here. Why not? Underneath. And if anyone has, if you're looking at my painting on the left here, this black edge is pretty sharp and harsh. I want to cover that up with foliage because again, that's not structural. That's not, you know, a wall. That's just the shadow of the bush. So I want to make sure that those hard edges are covered with leaves. Alrighty. How are we doing out there? Yes, you can elect to just not paint the gate. That's totally an option. With any painting that we do or any painting that you do, you know, your painting is your painting. Sometimes we do a landscape with a bird on it and folks are like, I'm not doing that bird. And it's totally fine. Whatever you want. All right, I'm getting really excited to see these because I know they're going to be amazing. We still, of course, want to tend to our fountain. And because I told you we're going to use red and I don't think I touched it, and I'm really sorry about that. It's just, I always just squirt out those colors anyway. But in the original, again, what I did was I used that bit of red in the sidewalk or the walkway. You can't tell that it's there, but it is. Otherwise you could paint some flowers. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wing this here. Let's get some white and some red. I'm not really good at painting roses, but I can do my best. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Something like that. Ooh, I froze. Am I frozen? No, I'm back. Okay. Winging it, winging it. So for that rose, in case you are interested, again, I'm not a flower painter by any means, but I did use a round brush with a nice point and some red and white. And you can add some depth with some red. And another great thing about, flowers and plants, doesn't have to be perfect. People get the idea. Animals and people, however, one wrong move and your cat looks like a porpoise. All right. All right, I'm getting really excited, so I'm just going to take a stroll through Zoom here. Again, we still have to attend to our fountain, but if anybody is ready to show and tell, I'm so excited because I know these are going to be good. Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. Stop it. Get out of here. They look so good. Oh, maybe I'm getting teared up a little bit. What is happening? These are so good. Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. I knew this was going to be a good one. Oh, they're so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Ah, they're so good. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are so happy and proud. They look amazing. Oh my gosh, I want to take a dip in that fountain. Oh my gosh. You guys make me so proud. Oh my gosh. They're gorgeous. This might be like one of the prettiest ones we've ever done. Oh yes, excellent tip from Brittany in the chat, using red to calm down your greens. Red is the complementary color to green, and it will tone down anything that looks like, neon green or too much Crayola green. So that's a great suggestion from Brittany. Yeah, and of course you can add roses or flowers or whatever. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna sit. Oh, looks great, Sarah. Oh my gosh, these are seriously so good. This is magic. This is where painting is magical to me. An hour and a half ago, we were staring at a blank canvas, and now we've got like a real world here. All right. In the meantime, well, what have I done? Move my Zoom around. How did I do that? You know what? How did I do that? Nope, don't want to do that. Speaker. Oh, well. Oh, technology. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you all. So while you folks are getting all settled with your foliage and whatnot, I am going to wipe off excess paint from my brushes because the last little step here is tending to our fountain. And I do want a nice clean brush. I'm probably going to use my flat one only because I use it all the time and I feel good about making fine lines with it. You can use whatever brush you like. I would give a test run again. That's always a good piece of advice, to give a test run to see how this is going to work for you. But I do want to clean that brush of any excess paint because we're going to go into pure white. All right. And with that pure white, I'm going to treat the top of that fountain, the flat part where, you know, you would walk around it. You know, my son, we just took him the other day and he was just walking around the fountain right on the top. So I'm going to go right on that black, right on top. Well, when I say on top of it, I mean, I'm going to let the black show still, but going right on that upper edge. And then same treatment in the back. So both these white lines go on top of the black. All right. And again, I mean, even at this point, I'm not worried about perfection for my fountain here. The color, the light, and the dark are going to do the work for us. And then we have the water. And this water certainly is not going to be a perfect clean line. I forget how many spouts they have, but in my painting, I think I managed 4 or 5. I'm just going to start on my left and just using the tippity tops, arcing towards the middle. And on the right, and arcing towards the middle. And other points in there. Straight up from here, why not? And then, of course, all that spray, we can do tip, 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 tip. That's not a word. Stamp, 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 stamp. With the tip, that's what I'm gonna say, with the tippity tops of those bristles. So all that spray going down in the middle. Something like that. All that spray down there. Something like that. Again, it's the suggestion of the fountain, the suggestion of water. Oh, let me see, there's stuff coming in the chat. Let's see. My canvas is wet from large brush strokes. What do I do? Where the fountain is, you mean? If you're trying to do the white for the fountain, I would just let it dry before I continue working. If you've already gone in there and things look a mess, same advice. I would let it dry and then go over it with the white. If you're feeling brave, whenever I go onto wet on wet and I've made a mess of that, like I'm comfortable. Yes, hair dryer is awesome. Absolutely. I also just like scrub everything with the paint just like scrub it and see what happens. But I know that that's not for the faint of heart. But everything is fixable. Even if the fix is painting the canvas black, which I have done. Okay. Yeah. Hair dryer, honestly, to be honest, I don't use my hair dryer for my hair. It's just for painting. I will paint the part of it. Oh, good. Also good tip. Painting the forward top edge a bit wider than the back. That's again helping with that perspective. Absolutely. Good tip from Hilar. Yeah. All right. And then speaking of adding to the illusion, when I look at my painting, I feel like my fountain is kind of floating and I want it to be a bit more grounded. And what's going to help that is a shadow for the fountain itself. So much like the color that I use for the shadow of the foliage, I'm going to get that, I'm trying to get that gray back. And I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow over here. Just a little bit. That's going to help ground my fountain there. Again, not perfect. Doesn't bother me. And that is that. Oh, cool. I'm just reading in the chat. So it looks like the We Are event, the We Are weekend event is happening this weekend. Oh, cool. Celebrating the summer solstice at the Arboretum, where you can actually see the fountain and see how I painted it wrong. No. That's fun. All right. I think that's all she wrote, but I do want to take a stroll through Zoom here. Try to figure out my Zoom setup. I did something and made everything pop out weird. Alrighty. Looks like folks are still working, but I do want to take a look at anybody who's willing to share. It's my favorite part. Oh my gosh, you guys! They look so good! I love it. These are seriously, I mean, this is probably my favorite so far. Oh my gosh! You guys, they're so pretty. I can't. Oh my gosh, they look awesome. They're all so different. Beautiful.
My fountain looks like a trampoline.
Hey, I would love a trampoline at the Arboretum. My son would too. What could help? Maybe adding more spray to indicate the water, like more fluff, more drippy drip. Oh my gosh, these look amazing. I don't see any trampolines, by the way. These look amazing. Oh, I'm seeing familiar faces. Should I come to the arena? Becky, love it. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's a great hairdo.
So Jackie,
Yes.
I have a son that is a Penn Stater and he lives in State College now many years after he graduated. And we
Oh,
went to the Arboretum and I'm going to show him this picture and see if he could recognize where we are.
there you go. It's the test. I love it. Love that. These are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Even if you're not happy with your fountain, I really hope that you love that technique as much as I did when I watched that Disney animation special. Just the black background and then adding those leaves. It's something that you can do in a sketchbook or, you know, something. Oh, these are gorgeous. I can't stop looking at them. But it's a technique that you can take with you in other paintings. These are amazing. Abby, love it. Sarah, I mean, everybody. I can't name everybody. Patricia's iPad. Jean or yeah, Jean. I'll just say Spinelli. Yo, Spinelli. Yeah. Oh, gorgeous. Mary, Tam. They're gorgeous. I mean, this is a good one, right, guys? This is a really pretty one. Awesome. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. I'm so impressed. Well, thank you all once again for joining me on a Monday evening, painting virtually on Zoom. I say it every time, or if I don't say it every time, I should. And I get so much joy from watching people paint. So thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in to this Arboretum fountain. Sorry about the red paint. Go ahead and add your flowers if you wish. I'm happy to stay on and answer any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you next time, right? I mean, we do this what, twice a year? I don't know. Time has no meaning
Twice a
anymore.
year.
Twice a year. There. Thank you, Abby. Thank you all.
Yeah,
This
thank
was
you all for joining
beautiful.
us.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See
Hey,
you next time.
Jackie,
You.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
my kiddo Katie wants to say something about her unicorn hair.
Oh, where are you? Let me see if I can find you. I know.
I'm right
you are.
here.
Becky,
I know you're.
Good
Oh,
luck.
there you are. There you are. Unicorn hair.
Unicorn hair, because she's got her unicorn.
It's supposed to be pink hair when it's done, but my mommy said
Oh, are
purple.
you cooking it right now? You're not done
We're cooking it.
Oh, wonder. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, that's exciting. That's super exciting.
We'll see you around town, Jackie.
Yes. Excellent.
Have fun.
Thank you all, everyone. Have a great evening. Oh, I love all these comments. Yes, no fear, no fear. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Abby. See you next time.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.